I think that here in British Forces Gibraltar, we're also very pleased that the Armed Forces Act has gone through, and the Governor will be signing it into assent, I think the term is, in the next few days. It reaffirms the relationship between the UK Armed Forces here in Gibraltar and the police in Gibraltar and its relationship with Gibraltar.
Well, talking of the police and jurisdiction, what's happening with the GDP and the amalgamation with the RGP?
So the GDP are a police form that comes out of the Police Act here in Gibraltar, but work for and exclusively for the Ministry of Defence. And as I've arrived, I'm asking the GDP and other bits of British Forces Gibraltar to break down from first principles what I require in Gibraltar for the security of the MOD, bits of the MOD estate that we have here. That work's underway, and when that work delivers, I think the Commissioner of Police and I will sit down and understand where there's overlap, where there are opportunities, where there are risks, and then see what we can do from that may or may not change what is asked of the GDP.
How much they get paid is something of a stumbling block, isn't it, or has been? I don't know whether that's something that continues being.
The all UK civil servants here, whether it's MOD or in the convent from the Foreign Office, a long time ago a pay agreement came into place that linked them to me and to UK civil servants in the UK military, and that pay parity continues to exist. We have all had the same pay restraint over the last period, and we all expect, as the government eases that, we will all go up. So I think it's an interesting question that I need to consider, but we also need to look at the totality of the package that each of every one of us is receiving.
Well, incursions are the bane of any CBF. Are we going to need a bigger boat, and when are we going to get them?
So, sovereignty of Gibraltar is not in question. We're absolutely clear of what British Gibraltar territorial waters means and where the sovereignty lies. Sabre and Scimitar are doing a great job with the Royal Navy Gibraltar Squadron and others to ensure that everyone understands what sovereignty means. As it happens, the MOD is investing hugely in its infrastructure and in its equipment around the world, and here in Gibraltar we are going to get 2 new patrol boats to replace Sabre and Scimitar. They haven't been even designed yet, but that tender is going out soon, and when those come, let's see what they bring, but we will continue to demonstrate sovereignty here in British Gibraltar territorial waters.
Well, talking of big boats, we had the Queen Elizabeth visiting Gibraltar, and we hope that the Prince of Wales will too. They couldn't, of course, dock at the naval base. Do you think that they will be able to in the future?
So at the moment, as we saw with HMS Queen Elizabeth, there isn't quite enough water there to bring her in safely. We need to consider what that means. Do I need to bring her into the harbour? Do I want to bring her into the harbour? We know that HMS Queen Elizabeth, HMS Prince of Wales are going to be running for many decades to come. And so I need to balance up the cost of any works that we might have to do. The environmental impact, for example, if I have to dredge here in the harbour, what does that mean? And how do we ensure that we don't damage the ecosystem and the environment here? And also work with my partners in the Gibraltar Port Authority and the Government of Gibraltar to make sure we get the best that we can out of the money that we put into Gibraltar. So the straight answer is I don't know yet whether I need to or can do the works that might be necessary.
But something that's on the agenda?
Something that's certainly that we're looking at, and we've already conducted some of that work. So we had HMS Echo here not that long ago, and she conducted survey work in the harbour, so I have a better understanding of where I might need to do work and what might be required.
Well, if I can take you to the land transfer agreement, and Four Corners needs to be finished to spec so as to move out of MOD accommodation to allow for the island games. The government, as we all know, have had other building commitments. So what's happening here?
So there's great news in Four Corners. Helm Point, so the community centre, is now open and up and running. The first of the families have moved in this week into the blocks, and I've been around them and had a look at them, and I was there with the governor not so long ago, and it's looking like an amazing project, an amazing bit of work that is coming good over time. Yes, it's late, we all know that, and we probably know the reasons why, but the reality is the families are moving now from Europa down towards Four Corners, and that work will continue. The last of the buildings are due to be completed and to transfer ownership at the beginning of next year, at which point we will complete our move out of Europa and they'll be handed to the Government of Gibraltar.
Do we feel the rush here? Is there, do we feel that perhaps time is running out? The Island Games are going to be happening, the accommodation is going to be needed?
So I'm living in Four Corners at the moment, and I'm experiencing the rush of the workforce coming in every day, 6 days a week, to get on with this work. And I'm seeing that work, you know, coming good day in, day out. You're seeing things get better and better. So there is a hard deadline. We have the Island Games coming, and I'm confident that the government of Gibraltar and all the partners involved will do as much as they can to achieve it.
Well, it's a bit of a grey day to ask you how you're enjoying Gibraltar, but how are you settling in?
I don't remember the weather. It's been 20 years since I last lived here. I don't remember the weather being quite like this. But it's great. It's great to be here. It's great to be here with my family. It's great to be welcomed by Gibraltar and the people of Gibraltar so warmly as we have this time. And we're certainly looking forward to getting stuck into what is going on. And I'm already, you know, you spend 2 years here, you think you sort of know Gibraltar. Certainly over the last 20 years, Gibraltar has transformed in so many ways. But I also, in this job, have an opportunity to learn so much more about the history of Gibraltar and some of the past, some of the reasons we are where we are now. And I'm finding that so exciting. I'm having an amazing time.